I'm going to do a short video today on our wood screen door for our 1955 Spartan Imperial Mansion trailer home. So here's the place. I'm just walking towards it. There's our label. If you hear that sound, we're by the airport. If you hear any background noise. I wanted to show you this screen door, this wood screen door that I wanted to kind of replicate from a classic screen door from, say, like a vintage trailer home or a cabin. If you're interested in something like this, I thought I would just kind of show you a couple details. This happens to be a cedar door that I put stain and 3 coats of clear spar varnish on it, but you could build something like it and paint it if you wanted to. And what I did here, I'll show you the door as we go up. Basically, it's fairly simple in its construction in the components, where the 2 sides were cut to fit the height minus clearance. The top and bottom pieces were doweled into these side pieces. Then I added the 3 supports in the cross pieces as I was doing these. What I did for a latch was, here's a little finger pull so you don't have to have this screen open when you're opening the thing towards you. And that's just a little cup, finger cup, to slide open the door. And you'll kind of see that there's a dual screen because I used hardware cloth and also screening, aluminum screening, to make it dually protected and secure. So let's open up the door. As we go inside the place, I'll spin around and you can see the inside. There it is. Couple details are when I put the screen on the inside of the door and then added these pieces over the staples, and then I just put some small screws in these so that they could be removed if the screen gets ripped. Just a simple latch to hold it closed. Here is the handle that you can buy at any RV supply store, as far as just pulling the door closed and pushing it open. Those are adjustable. As far as my closing door goes, this is the stationary piece that is attached to, we'll scan down here. If you see this channel I bought at Home Depot, and I installed that on the inside, as you can see, closest to the back, so that the front piece, the stationary piece, could be glued to this. And then the movable piece is just cut slightly less than the top and bottom here, and it has to be put on when you put this aluminum tracking on. And the reason why this is wood on the back is, you know that little cup piece that I had in the front, you have to drill a hole through. This is so thin, it's only roughly 3/16 or so. The cup left a little bit of a clearance issue with this, so what I did is I drilled out the back of this and used it as a cover, and it also works as the handle in the back. And now that I'm thinking about that, I'll show you something else. one of the most important things is how thick the door is going to be. And I made one once before and it was 3/4 of an inch thick, but the original door on this trailer was a 1/2 inch thick. So because this sandwiches next to that door, they close so tight, you want to have as much clearance as you possibly can, so you can't have anything sticking out on the front that's a little bit more than flush. And that is about as much as I wanted to deal with there. Now when I put this in, I had to drill a hole through using a little bit of a, I had to gouge into there so that it would recess to hold the concave cup. And when you do that and you use a spade bit, it puts a hole through the back side. So there was a hole coming in here, and I thought, well, why don't I cover that up? So what I did is I just ran a piece of wood all the way down on the inside, and not only did it not look too bad, it actually kind of added a little bit to the look. As far as this slider goes, when you see this little bit on the end here, the only reason it's like that is because I made 2 screen doors, one for my neighbor, one for me. I only had this much left. I was that short to go to the end, so I actually just pieced it in, and to tell you the truth, it turned out pretty nice. Another thing I did too is when I added this spring on, in the old door it used to rub against the door and gouge into the end. So what I did there is I found a couple of really inexpensive angles that were at Home Depot. I bought 2 of them. I put one on the jamb of the door so that it wouldn't rub against here, and then I also bought a second one for the door. Now what I did is I just brought them over to here, figured out what I needed, and I cut off the angle with a hacksaw to the point that I wanted. And then for the look, I just took a random orbit sander and ran it over there, because otherwise it's just not gonna, it's always gonna look scratched. So you might as well have it so that it has a kind of a dulled finish. I also did that to this. As you can see, there's kind of a random orbit look to it. Otherwise it would just hold fingerprints, scratches, etc. And that is that door in a nutshell. Now what I did on the top here, which is a little unusual, is we wanted a screen, but we didn't want to have it on the door as far as the shade goes. So we found these at IKEA. It's a shade that just pulls down, and that's mounted to the ceiling, and it just hides the front door, and it just goes up. Stays out of the way. I don't know if anyone else has done that, but it looked like kind of a neat thing to do. So as we go through here, I'll just walk to the back of the trailer and show you my back door. And the reason why I'm going to show you that is because when we got this trailer, we only had one door, screen door, and it was this back door, which you can't see very well because of the sun. But I'll spin around out here and you can see how thin that door actually was. And all I did is took that door, it was all beat up, and I sanded it down, put some universal priming bonding primer on it, and then I got it kind of rebuilt and put back on. So that's that. If you want to see, for example, the original door that I built, the wood door for the front that I don't use anymore because I learned some lessons from it, you could look at another video I've got posted on YouTube, and that's Rob and Tony with an I. 1955 Spartan trailer home. So that is the screen door, and if you have intermediate wood skills, you should be able to build one for yourself. Thanks.